All right, so a bunch of people have been talking about this in Cincinnati right now. Cincinnati beating victim speaks out after brutal attack. So let's see. I haven't been hip to this, so I'm just now getting the vibe on this, but Fox News is showing it, so let's see where this goes.
We are learning new details about that viral street mob attack that took place in Cincinnati. A warning for the viewers at home, this video is graphic. The female victim of this beating is sharing new information about the moment before the attack took place, and brand new video appears to show someone shouting a racial slur during the incident. Now, it's unclear who shouted it and who that person was shouting at. Nate Foy picks up the story with these new details. Nate.
Hey, Emily. So 2 of the 6 men facing charges for the Cincinnati street fight are still on the run.
6 men beat up a woman? That don't sound too good.
Detectives are also trying to figure out exactly what caused the attack, but the lawyer for one suspect claims new video shows racial tensions led to the violence. So more than that, the Cincinnati Police Department, quote, has been made aware of Ku Klux Klan flyers being distributed in various communities within our city, end quote. Cincinnati Mayor Aftab Pureball, back from his heavily criticized vacation in Canada, is now trying to unite the city.
The racial dynamics of this fight are unavoidable, and some have cynically used the opportunity to try and divide us along racial lines. That is a choice we must firmly reject.
The most recent arrest happened over the weekend. Dominique Kittle's lawyer says he suffers from paranoid schizophrenia. So far, these 4 men face charges of assault and aggravated rioting. One of the suspects, Jermaine Matthews, bonded out of jail on Friday. He's out on a conditional release wearing an ankle monitor. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, Emily, the lone female victim named Holly is speaking publicly now for the first time after receiving nearly $350,000 in donations for her medical and legal cost.
It's been very, very hard, and I'm still recovering. I still have a very bad brain trauma.
She ain't deserve all that.
Thank you everyone.
Of course, the reaction to that video has been strong, and tonight Republican candidate for Ohio Governor Vivek Ramaswamy will host a discussion about public safety.
Too many Americans and too many people in Cincinnati don't even feel safe to go into their own home city. I say, no, we got to talk about it in the open, because this issue of urban crime, it is politically incorrect in some circles. I don't care about political correctness.
Ramaswamy's town hall starts at 5:30 tonight in Cincinnati, and Fox will be there as the reaction to this viral attack continues. Emily, we'll send it back to you.
Nate Foy, thank you.
You got it.
Larry, the business owners in that area as well sent a public letter to the city demanding accountability and that this stops. And they talked about the danger that this has posed. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm reading as many accounts as I can. The police say that there were no racial slurs, and they looked at it 6 different ways. There were no racial slurs. But even, I mean, you have to ask yourself, even if somebody said something, does this mean you can have a beatdown and a brawl and violence on the streets of a city? I think not. I think that's just a terrible thing. I'm looking forward to what Vivek may have to say in his town hall. You know, Cincinnati is a beautiful city, a lovely city. It's a southern city. That's why this is a bit troublesome on the racial front. I hope there's good investigations, you know, and I hope this thing is resolved. But you just can't have it. Look, we had it here in New York.
They're buck dancing. I'm gonna tell you why. Cincinnati has always had a race issue. We've had riots here. Most of the police shootings have happened here consistently. There's always been a level of racism here that has existed. They're buck dancing. Now, if there was nothing thrown, then that was absolutely wrong, and those people doing that were absolutely wrong for that. But I could bet your ass there was probably something thrown, because that's just how this fucking city is. Like, the state of Ohio is like that. It's a Trump state. Come on now.
We had a shooting last week that was unbelievable. How is that possible? Okay, and we're not the only ones. You've had these riots or many riots in Los Angeles and Chicago. What is going on here? What is happening to our great country? Somebody's got to restore law and order. Honestly, someone's got to restore law and order.
Yeah, I believe the answer to that, Kennedy, is that this is a holdover from the prior 4 years in which law and order was discarded in favor of woke, pretend to be prosecutors that didn't prosecute the law, where people did not see accountability. I don't see that as a brawl. I see that as a mob attack. I see it as felony upon felony, including kicking people in the face. It is nauseating to watch, and the first step is an assault charge. The first step is a riot charge. That entire group needs to be charged with the complicity law that Ohio State has for far worse. This cannot continue. And to your point, Larry, I don't care what was uttered in the beginning. Nothing justifies a mob beatdown like that, ever.
Key point.
Yep, and words are not deeds, and words do not incite life-threatening violence. They should be condemned, absolutely. In a civil society, you cannot call people epithets like that. But also, for Holly, and I read that she had tried to intervene and stop the fight. Right. Never do that, especially as a woman. Avoid conflict at all costs. Do not insert yourself, because you are much more likely to get injured like that, even though she probably had really good intentions and wanted to stop everything, and a lot of people feel that way. But, I don't want to see other people get hurt and get wrapped up in melees like this. But a lot of people operate with impunity because they have been activated by the political left, who loves incitement. I mean, they have been advertising how, they hope that someone gets shot in one of the ICE altercations because that will justify the resistance. It doesn't. We do not have a place in our society for this kind of violence, and people shouldn't be scared. And the mayor is a nutless wonder for leaving town and not confronting this and bringing his city together and having the tough conversation that Vivek wants to have.
He's showing us who he is, though. And we're always grateful to see who the bad actors are. And he's a bad actor because he's not doing the right thing. And he didn't do the right thing.
Reading a
came back to the city to talk about it.
Statement is nothing.
No,
he
probably didn't even write it.
Tepid. Yeah.
Right? But what?
No politician writes their shit. Stop. Ramaswamy isn't finna write his. He's not. He's scripted when he goes to where he's gonna go at 5:30.
I'm thinking about now is that young woman Holly. Her face so battered, brain trauma. She can't work now. She's a single mom. All these things that have been pointed out about her personally. But Kennedy, I know you're right, and yet my heart breaks when you say don't get involved. We've all seen those moments where, even as women, I don't know what we're thinking, but we're thinking we can get in there and make them listen to mom, but you can't. And we shouldn't have to choose between helping someone who might not be able to fight back and standing by and being one of the 100 bystanders who did nothing. Right? One 911 call. Yeah, that entire thing.
There's a difference between calling 911 and intervening like that.
That's right.
And a woman by herself, as vulnerable as can be, going into a mob of guys. It's like the odds are stacked against her.
No, you're right.
And Molly, speaking of women, I mean, there's still been no apology nor accountability for the city council woman who said they begged for this beatdown. She said once she knew the whole story. That is despicable coming from an elected official. I'm waiting for her termination.
Not the only elected official that implied that the victims were in some way to blame.
It's weird that Fox used all women. Like the propaganda game on both networks is impeccable. They used all women. On CNN, they use a black woman to speak about most of the issues. They use women to talk through the issues. It just makes it more, it makes you more engaged in it without wanting to know all of the context. You just want to listen to what they're saying specifically and how they specifically feel about what's going on. It's crazy to me. It's interesting.
Here, Vice Mayor Jan Michelle Kearney has said, we condemn the violent actions of the instigators of the fight, as well as the violent actions of those who responded to the provocation. So there's almost an element of additional victimization here, where as everything is unpacked, and there was a very confusing scene, and there were a lot of people who claimed that they were actually just trying to break this up, that in fact there's an element of victim blaming. And they're pushing back on that. Ken Hoover, the president of the Fraternal Order, as your point earlier, Larry, was that he said he spoke to the investigators and that there was absolutely zero evidence so far that suggested that
they've done interviews. Nothing suggests the victims were the ones that started this mob attack. Here's the thing. This sounds like a street gang looking for trouble. And that's why I go back to law and order. Because street gangs have ruined so many great American cities. Chicago is an important point. Los Angeles, we have it here in New York City. Street gangs, how can you have it? They were looking for trouble. They were looking for an excuse. All right, I don't need to politicize.
I know what I know. And I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no street gang involved in that. I know that for a fact. I know this city. I know the people in it. Some of those people in that crowd looked familiar. None of them are street gang members. None of them. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. I don't mean familiar as in like I know them personally. I'm like it's familiar as in those faces have been seen in other places, like ball games and shit like that. Something was said that sparked all this shit. For sure. Let's see. Like as we go deeper into the evidence, I want to go deeper. But it didn't just happen for no reason.
We got to get out of the segment. But I'm just saying, street gangs must be stopped somehow, some way.
Yeah, via prosecutors, attorney generals, governors that actually support law and order. And hopefully Ohio will join those ranks soon because they're not there yet. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno.
Ohio, they're Trump state. It's getting there. But I don't know. But if it was nothing, then it was totally wrong. But I guess as the evidence comes, we'll figure it out. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.